Hello, everyone. So, good morning and good afternoon, everybody. So, it is your person, your thing, your human being, man, male, whatever you want to call it. It is Kevin, a navigator. So, well. Thank you guys for tuning in to this training thing I'm doing because, throughout the whole year of 2025, I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been on SNAP, EBT, getting some government assistance and stuff like that. Nothing is a shame of it at all. It's just that it just depends on what's going on with it. But what happens is that since I currently live in Connecticut right now, I'm from New York, so I'm a Long Islander. So I'm definitely a Long Islander. Now the thing is that because I moved to Connecticut because the rent in New York was getting too expensive. It was getting way too much for me. Meaning that expensive wise, it was getting too much. So I had to relocate, and plus I moved out of my parents' house. About 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, I moved out of my parents' house for the first time to go spread my wings and then just live independently. You know what I'm saying? So just doing stuff like that. Now, however, I will be doing the voiceovers without no music in the background because I know you guys like the music in the background, all those beats in the background. I probably will do that in the next segment of the video. So in this playlist, it's gonna be all of my welding, metalworking, and my daytime profession and my career videos that I'll be posting on here. And some of the time, majority of the time, it will be with no music in the background. Some of them will have music in the background, maybe 2 or 3 videos from there. But however, yeah, it's just gonna show my progression of what I do. I like recording myself and see how I improve or mine from improvement. Now in this video, this is my first time welding. So currently I'm in Goodwin University in Connecticut. I'm in the Bridgeport campus. Bridgeport's not far from New York at all. It's maybe a half an hour from New York, from the Bronx pretty much. So right now, I just came from a school trip. The school trip is that we went to a shipyard and see how ship metal fabrication on boats, ships, barges, and things of that nature. So see how that works and how that functions. And also, don't forget about this as well. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But anyway, back to the story, what I'm doing. So currently, I'm just doing right now. This is my first time stick welding, also known as shield metal arc welding, or SMAW, whatever you want to call it for those people, whatever. When it comes to things like this, I'm not a nerd about things anymore. I'm really not. It's just that I love welding. I like it because it's a skill I need, and plus, I had no trade skill. To get into the market and to be employable or to find a niche to start my own business. You know what I'm saying? The thing is that this is gonna be my progression, and you guys gotta see it from the bottom up. So this is my first day of welding solo, without an instructor, without a partner or a classmate with me. So it's my first time doing a solo. I did have a little hard time getting that arc going. When I struck an arc, it's kind of a little bit difficult for me to get it going a little bit. It was a little bit difficult for me to strike an arc. But I just found different ways, and the instructors and other students, they showed me different ways of how to strike an arc. Now, that part being said, some people say you slide it off like a match. How you do a match when you're lighting a match. Some people said to tap it. Some people said to kind of slide it through. Not strike the match, but kind of slide, drag slide. But whichever way, these 3 methods, they work. You know what I'm saying? It's just about your preference. The thing I like about the skilled trades and the blue collar work, as long as you get the same job done, doesn't matter how you do it, as long as it's done the same result. It's just like mathematics. Doesn't matter how you do the mathematics, it's pretty much how the mathematics is done. If it comes up to the same answer, then doesn't matter what method you do. And I have to put a warning of you guys. If you guys have photosynthesis, sensitivity, epilepsy thing, I will warn you, this is very, very bright because the arc flash is very bright because it's very high temperature degrees. What amperage I'm in right now, so I'm currently using a Lincoln Electric. My amperage is about 95. So what type of electrode am I using? I'm using a 718. So I'm using a 7018 on my Stinger. The Stinger was very like broken, to be honest with you. Like the Stinger the instructor gave me, it was very broken. He put masking tape all over the Stinger. As you can see closely, if you zoom in very, very carefully, you see like the electrical masking tape on it. And like it was improvising, but personally for me it's a bit kind of dangerous because that's how sparks and that's how electrical malfunctions be happening. So, but hey, as long as you get the job done, get the job done. Preferably, like, I know some people may say like, oh no, don't throw it away. Well, it's not my gear, so if it was up to me, if it was my gear, I would just throw it away completely because I'm not gonna put masking tape just to save money. Like, that's one thing I like about being cheap. The thing is, I'm the type of person is that when I have money, I spend it for better conveniences. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna just have that, just improvise and do all that, and it doesn't work for me. But like, however, everyone's different. So like, I got the hang of striking an arc. I'm doing like a one bead. I'm not doing any joints right now, or any fillet welds or any groove joints right now. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just like practicing striking an arc, making a perfect bead. I'm not doing any whipping motion. Mind you, this is my first day of welding solo by myself, and it was required with a grade. So the grade is, if you can strike an arc in one line and make a bead one line, doesn't matter if it was bad or good, then you pass the grade. So it's like our first day of welding by ourselves. We got out of the classroom and put that theory into practice. You know what I'm saying? So we put the whole thing into practice and not be in the classroom all day because we did the theory part. So I started this program around September 2025, and we started doing all the practical work around October 2025. So September 2025, I started to do the classroom safety precautions of welding, iron fabrication, thermal cutting, and stuff like that, the case may be. So when I started that, like, it was like really cool, to be honest with you. They showed us the safety videos, the safety accidents that happen. I think in the United States, in Canada, well, not Canada, but in the United States, I think there's about how many injuries, workplace injuries happens on the site. I think about, I forgot the name, but according to OSHA. So like, I'll link it down below with the OSHA statistics and the safety agency statistics. And there's a reason why we took a whole month about like safety of welding, because this is very dangerous. I will tell you this right now. This is very, very dangerous. And not only you can get burned, not only you can get electrocuted, but if you don't have the proper PPE gear, like, you can get metal fragments in your skin, and we don't know what type of metal you are using, even though you should know what metal you are welding on, you're grinding on. Make sure you have protective equipment, especially when you're grinding, because when you're grinding, like, all that all the sparks will like get on you, cause fire. The sparks will hit your face. It can lead to blindness. It can lead to burns, 3rd-degree burns, 2nd-degree burns, depending how severe it is. And make sure always, like, the metal is very hot. Like, anytime you're doing any welding, you're doing hot work. You know what I'm saying? It's not like other construction trades that you just, whichever. I can't speak on them, but as like an iron worker, a student iron worker and a welder, iron's always hot. You know, that's where the term came from. Strike when the iron's hot. Strike when the iron's hot. That's where that term came from. So basically, like, you know, like, I needed a trade skill. So because the music stuff, the entertainment stuff, the vlog stuff, the streaming stuff, it wasn't really working for me. It doesn't work for anyone. Anyone can't be a lot of the streamers out there. I'm not going to name drop, but I think in this case, when I got help from Department of Social Services and the SNAP Connecticut Pathway Program, but New York has Access VR. So Access VR was helping me as well to find a trade that I can get a skilled trade in the blue collar work, because productivity work doesn't work for me at all. Office work don't work for me at all. Like, I'm a creative, and I have to build something, or I have to create something, or I have to use my mind to create something. So, like, everyone has their path, and I really wish the education system will emphasize that. But I'll talk about that in the next video about the corruptions of the education system. So I think I found my path right here. I really found my path very heavily, and I'm really liking this a lot because, like, for myself, I tried to dibble and dabble in different careers throughout my 20s. I'm in my early 30s right now, but I try to dibble and dabble, find my path and stuff like that, find whichever. The one thing I do regret, especially the year 2026 is here right now, from 2011 all the way to 2025, the one thing I really do regret is not finding a skilled trade, not listening to my parents and the elders in my family, or some of the women that I was dating as well. I should have listened to them. Like, I should have listened to them in regards of, you should get a skilled trade, you can work for the NTA, take a civil service exam, do this and do that. Because if I would have done that more actively and proactively, yeah, I probably would not be in my 30s trying to maybe I wouldn't be in my 30s trying to find a trade by then. At that point, most people, for what I've seen, maybe not everybody, maybe people in my situation, they're probably changing careers. They probably had an early career in their early life, and then they're changing careers from there. So maybe that was the case. But in my case, I was like a lost cause, and trying to really find what am I going to do for a living for the rest of my life. And I came to the conclusion is that when DSS showed me do you know about welding? Do you know what welding is? I was like, nah, I don't know what that is. What is that? And then they gave me a pamphlet of the program of the school that they are sending me to. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, okay. I didn't know nothing about welding. I never researched it. I just looked at the picture and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, it looks like a little sparky thing. And then I was like, I want to try that. And to be honest with you, it was really the best decision of my life. Like, choosing this program at Goodwin University as for my welding certificate was the best decision of my life. It really was. Like, I kid you not. It was the best decision in my whole life. I kid you not right now. It was a very, very, very great decision because any other trades, I was like, my family members worked in it, but it wasn't really like my thing, really. It wasn't really like a thing that I was like craving for or a thing that I was like crazy for. But when I started this welding thing and putting metal together and doing some Iron Man type of thing on the first movie Iron Man, when he did the mechanical stuff, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Look at that. I was like, man, this is really cool. And then I play with electricity too and stuff like that, ironically. But fire, electricity, and wearing this helmet thing, I was like, this is really cool. And it was best decision. I love it and stuff like that. I passed the final exam. I'm glad I did. And then on top of that, on top of this, I've learned a little bit of chemistry. You know what I'm saying? What makes some iron, what's pig iron, raw iron, galvanized steel, what steel's made of. Steel is like an alloy of iron. The iron ores, copper, ferrous, non-ferrous metals, and stuff like that, which I'll explain that part for what I've learned in the next couple of videos. But this video was just an intro. So this whole video was just really an intro of my progression and stuff like that. The classroom, I didn't film it that much because it's just classroom work, really. But but I just wanted to show the action and stuff like that of what was going on, really, to be honest with you. So now, that part being said, the semester was really, really good. I really loved the semester, to be honest with you. And not only that, but the semester is just something that I really have to progress on, and I'm glad I progressed in it. It was a bit difficult at first. It was really a bit difficult to adjust because I have a hard time taking tests. I have a hard time paying attention to class. I do have a learning delay, so I do have a mental disability of learning delay, so it takes me a while to learn things. But I guess once I learn it and once I completely adapt to it, then yeah, I guess I'll master it. Like, there's probably a lot of people in the world who has what I has, but I always want to know the root cause of what causes it to happen. Like, I just want to know the root cause of it. But either way, like, once I learned the visual part and once I learned another method of how to do things, I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, now I get it. Like, it takes me a while to do that. Now, in this part, you see the sparks. You see the sparks I was saying. If you rewind this a few minutes ago, you see how the masking tape is kind of screwing up everything. That masking tape on the stinger, like the masking tape on the stinger, right, is really screwing up everything. Is because, like, all those you see how it's very risky of a lot of sparks happening like that. You know what I'm saying? When you're trying to strike an arc, because the electricity is supposed to stay within, not supposed to go out. Because when you go out, you're interrupting the arc. Now imagine if you're welding a bead, right? You're welding a bead, or you're filling a joint, a groove joint, or a filler joint, or you're doing like a butt joint, lap joint, T-joint, corner joint. Now imagine look what's gonna happen right now. Now imagine if the sparks on the stinger goes out, like it exploded while you're doing that. That's gonna interrupt your bead now. Now that's gonna screw up your weld. So that's why, like, you know, some companies and people are cheap. Understandable. You got to use what you got, but eventually you got to get some new gear. So in this booth, like, no one is really going this booth really, because this booth is like, the stinger is terrible. But right now, currently, the school has a new stinger right now. So like, they threw away that old stinger, or they probably donated into like another shop for them to fix it. But yeah. But this is the first part when it was hard for me to strike an arc, and when I was striking that arc, it was like a bit difficult to get stuck. So sometimes when it got stuck, it was really difficult, because my instructor and my teacher, you know, he did everything. Like he like showed us the theory and show us demonstration of how to strike an arc. So now we're doing it solo by ourselves. It was really difficult. Like, it looks easy, like on the TV, it looks easy on this video you're watching. It looks easy, but it really isn't. Like, because it gets frustrating, because you're thinking, and mind you, in this video, I realized that I was long arcing. So I was really long arcing in this video. I really realized that. Like, I should have, like, put it into the metal more, because when you're long arcing, which is good in some cases, but in most cases long arcing is bad, is because you're away from the metal, you're away from the piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're away from the piece and not inside of the piece, not penetrating. It's not gonna have good penetration. Like, whenever you're tack welding or you're doing anything like that, like, you gotta have a good penetration. Now you see if you rewind this back, you see how the sparks exploded in the middle of the stinger while I was welding? That's what I was talking about. I was talking about, like, when you're doing that, it's gonna screw up your bead, it's gonna screw up your weld. So that's what I was really talking about. You see that? That's why I didn't like about that stinger with the masking tape. Like, with the electrical masking tape, because it was stupid. Like, not only it was very stupid, but like you see, like, now I gotta do this over and over again. If that stinger was really fixed, not to sound like I'm complaining, I'm just critiquing of the school's facility with that stinger. Not expecting perfection, but like, I imagine this was on a project, or this was on a timely thing, or on the field, and that happens. Like, now you're wasting time and money now. So like, convenience is very important. I just really like convenience is very important. And those of you guys who are going to welding school, yeah, make sure it has a good reputation, of course. Make sure you can financially pay for it. And whatever state you guys are located on, make sure your state can pay for it. Because there is programs, right? There is, like, welfare programs, or unemployment programs, like if you're unemployed on an unemployment line, if you're on those type of things, they're willing to pay for education. Maybe not a master's degree, but they're willing to pay for a certificate or associate's degree, depending on your state. Like New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Jersey, they have like programs that they can pay your associate's degree or your certificate, if you're qualified. So, in a sense, if you're qualified, yeah, like they can do that. But check with your local state social services and check with your local state unemployment agency. Like check with them as well, because I wasn't gonna sit here and be unemployed for a whole year, especially not getting laid either, because you need money to get laid. I'm sorry to say it. Say how you want to say, feel how you want to feel. Argue with your mother. Like no money, no honey. So I wasn't gonna have no honey if I have no money. That's a fact. And I want to travel to different places too. So I have a second YouTube channel called Travelandsteel with Kevin. So I post the same video, but it has no narration with that one. This one's not narrated. I think it is, but this one's not narrated. This one that's narrated will be on the Kevin the Navigator YouTube channel. So I probably will post that as well. So like maybe post both of them at the same time. So I'm probably gonna do that. But however, it is the longer version because I don't want to do short versions of each video and do each clip of each video. I don't really want to do all that. So yeah, and very noisy. I will tell you that. Make sure you wear hearing protection too, because in a metal fabrication shop, a welding shop, or a welding school, or any type of welding construction site, you need to have hearing protection. Like you gotta have hearing protection. If you don't have hearing protection, you're gonna be like kind of deaf. And PPE is very, very, very important. I don't know how to emphasize PPE is very important. But this metal is very, very hot. That is a fact. So, alright guys, I'll see you next time.